Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode here at the Debate Circle. We are in the Rift Valley region in the finals for the senior category, and we cannot wait to crown the champions for this region. The motion of dissection reads, youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. I'll read the motion of dissection again. Youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. Proposing and opposing this motion is Kapsabet High School and Moifosis Academy, Lanet. All the best to both teams. Team proposition first speaker, you have 3 minutes.
The greatest advancements in civilization, whether in science or architecture, in industry or agriculture, have never come from centralized government. They have always conjured up from the youth of the society. These are the words of Milton Friedman. And today's bone of contention is that youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. My name is Rono Emmanuel from the Kapsabet High School, and I'm here as the first proposer to this motion. Now, according to the Waste Management Index, Sweden is ranked number 1 with a score of 85. You may ask why. This is because that Sweden manage their waste mostly through waste-to-energy methods. One outstanding figure in Sweden is Greta Thunberg. How old is Greta Thunberg? Greta Thunberg is a youth. Greta Thunberg fits within the age bracket of a youth. This elucidates clearly that youth-led initiatives are successful. Now, let's come closer home. The Mombasa Plastic Prize Incubator has been actualized by 9 youth-led farms to collect over 23 tons of waste in Mombasa County since October 2023 to date. Let's move on to another example. The youth-led composting initiatives in Nairobi informal settlements have achieved significant environmental improvements. All these are speaking in favor of the youths. We are the youths in our country. Now, I want you to explain to me, between a youth and an old person, who has the greatest ability to engage in waste management systems? I believe the answer is very clear, that the youths have a higher work output in promoting waste management. This brings me to my second point. Youth-led initiatives in Nairobi have the potential to transform communities. When you take a look at the percentage of Kenya's population, the youth take a whooping 70%. The youth are the majority in our country. Now, why should we focus on other people, yet we have the majority? As we say, the majority always have their way. Now, the youth being the majority in our country can be able to take waste management and bring out the greatest output through various methods such as waste-to-energy methods and traditional forms. When we take a look at the traditional forms, we have land filling, we have open dumping. When you come to waste-to-energy, this is whereby waste is converted to energy. It is the youth who are providing employment to these waste-to-energy plants. A statistic by the UNEP, dated 23rd October 2023, stated that waste-to-energy plants provide employment to 65% of the youths in our country. Now, with that fathomable elucidation, need I not say more? I believe I shouldn't. Thank you.
I am delighted that we're all invited. Extremely excited to be reunited. Ladies and lads, my name still remains to be Hope Rindi from the Moifosis Academy, Lanet, here to firmly oppose the motion that states the youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. Now, I would like to inform my worthy opponent here. We are not saying that we are completely cutting out the youth-led initiatives. What we are saying is that we want the inclusion of both the youth and the ones who are more aged. I mean, old is gold. the older people are wiser. Therefore, we don't want only the youth-led initiatives. We want to have the inclusion of both the youth and the slightly aged. So I will start by defining the term youth. Who are the youth? These are people aged between the age of 15 and 24. What are initiatives? According to the Oxford Dictionary, it is the ability to assess and initiate things independently. What is waste management? This is the process involved in managing waste from cradle to grave. Now, ladies and lads, according to I will give another alternative initiative that was taken in Kenya. According to the Kenyan Association of Manufacturers, which is an alternative initiative, we know that in 2017, the Kenyan Association of Manufacturers launched a pet sector group through a cleanup exercise of pet product at Uhuru Park in Nairobi. The model provides a solution for post-consumer plastic packaging, which is critical in minimizing its impact on the environment in Kenya. There is a total of 176 plastic manufacturing companies. Now, in 2016, the plastic industry in Kenya generated a turnover of 100 billion shillings and employed over 60,000 people. These people who are employed were not only the youth, they included the youth and the people who are older. And I promise you, it is prospering. This will take me to another alternative that was taken. According to the West Aid research, there was another alternative initiative that was taken, and it is known as the West Aid program. The West Aid program in Kenya has focused on building capacity to rural areas in order to enable communities to manage their own waste in a safe and sustainable manner. In 2019, the United Kingdom Aid funded the West Aid program. It delivered a total community waste management initiative in an informal settlement on the shores of Lake Naivasha. So, representative of many conurbations across the country with no waste management service, all the waste generated by the community of 7,000 people was being dumped nearby or burned, poisoning a significant threat to wider environment and human health. So, ladies and lads, what we are trying to say, we're not trying to cut, like I said, we are not cutting out the youth completely. We just want to have the inclusion of both the youth, of everyone in community, for we know that unity dwells strength, and unity contributes to knowledge from everyone. And like I said, knowledge also, in knowledge dwells strength. Thank you.
My name is Nsongo Momanyi from Kapsabet Boys. I'm delighted to be here today and delighted to talk of the motion that the youth can lead the movement. Let's talk of our nation. By virtue of jurisdiction, most people occupying the land under the name Kenya are youth. To begin with, youth are not people between 15 to 24. They are people between 15 to 35. As we continue, these very youths you're telling us about are the majority. And in all critical times in history, the majority have the upper arm. That's why you talk of demos, gratia, democracy, people's power. Once we have the majority leading the movement, then we have the assurance of success. You talk of other bodies that can come in to help us. You talk of private sectors, like the Kenya Association of Managers. But let me ask you, how many private sectors have indulged in such and better yet still failed? I will talk of the Hipson movement. I will talk of the Gushijin movement. I'll talk of many more. The private sector is at risk of collapsing at any time. The youth cannot be in extinction at one time. That the majority, they're the best way to go. Now, let's go to Kisii County. In Kisii County, the Kisii Youth Program started by their own initiative, and that is removing the trash from Darajambili. And in no time, 18.62% of the trash there, especially plastic, has been done away with. It is all about the youth. The youth have power. You have power. And I do have power to lead this. It is all about the law of navigation and utilitarianism. One youth stands to lead the others in the right manner. The majority will definitely get it right. what we are saying is not that the youth are the only ones who are supposed to participate. We are saying that the youth leading this program of waste management is a better way of handling the matter. If to you it looks so heavy, let's go back to time. In the antediluvian world, back in history, we have one thing coming out: waste management by youth. Along the camps of the Babylonians, when they were going to war, the old generals, no other person could do anything, not even the old generals, but the youth did everything at that time. Thank you.
Harambe, Harambe. Now the national anthem says that tuungane mikono pamoja kazini. What we're trying to bring on table is that the youth-led initiatives should merge with other initiatives. We're not saying that the other initiatives should be done completely away with. What we're trying to say is that when these two parties merge, they will give out something great, and this is what we stand for. Now, Linda Precious is my name from the Moi Forces Academy, Lanet, and the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that separate us. And that's why in unity, we strongly oppose this motion. Now, according to the AIC, the Westwise Initiative, the 2-year initiative is financed by the Italian Corporation and implemented by the UN Habitat. They are helping very many families where there are they are densely populated areas. For example, the Korogoshane, which is so very much densely populated. So what is this the AIC doing? The AIC is also trying to come up and help these people, just like the way the youth-led initiatives are also coming back and helping these people. You know, Wangari Maathai, an activist from Kenya, said that I am very conscious that you can't do it alone. It's teamwork, you know. When you do it alone, you can run the risk of saying that when you're not there, someone else cannot do it. It's absolutely not right. So you say of the private sectors, that the private sectors, they're at very high risk. So what if these private sectors and this youth-led initiative merge? What do you think will happen? They will actually make up a great team, and together they will solve problems and issues. Now you talk of the 25%. Like you said, Sweden became the best with the 25%. Now what about the 75%? If these two people, the youth-led initiative and this other initiative, would have come together, they will have absolutely made it to 100%. But what happened? They didn't come together, and that's why they made the 25%. Now, you talked of the youths in Nairobi. Are we not youths? We are youths, and you are in Kenya. Yes. Now, you've talked of the youth-led initiative, bringing more employment into us. Now, could you please give us examples of these employment opportunities made by the youth? Maybe I will also be interested to be employed by these led initiatives. Thank you.
I go by the name of Ngomano Karanja. And first of all, I would ask team opposition to sharpen their listening skills. Our first proposer said 85%, not 25%. Listen better. We had a question on we have the question on other-led initiatives. Now, these initiatives from other sources, for example, the governments and the NGOs, depend massively on the youth. So basically, the majority win. The majority are the ones who are depended on to lead these initiatives. Please understand our argument. We are simply saying, let the youth lead the initiative. Let the youth lead the initiative. Let us do a case study. In our home, our community that is, we are about 200 youth. We came together, yes, we came together, and we began a program. And the program went on to indulge all the other ages because we could access them, we could talk to them, and we could give them statistics and facts, yes? Now, if the initiative will have come from any other source, it will not be very, very effective because the youth have impact in the greatest margin. Yes? Now, let us look at something else. In Dandora, dump site, the youth led an initiative where they get the matter and they recycle it. And the initiative is effective. You can check, you can confirm. Yeah? We have a case study. Kazi Mtaani, led by the government. Who did they largely depend on to lead the initiative? The government invented it. They made it a legislation. They made it they just gave the idea. But who made the initiative? It was the youth. They brought employment to the youth. Now, we had another question on what are they doing to the waste, yeah? Now, this waste is converted to energy. And then the companies that depend on the youth give them back employment. So in this case, we are helping both parties. We are fixing the waste, making it beneficial to everyone, and benefiting the youth with employment. Food for thought.
Greatness is not for the great, nor the greatness is not handed to a single man. It is just a matter of personal will fight. And I, Darmi Robatadicha from the Moi Forces Academy, stand against this motion that states youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. My fellow citizen asked, where has the merging applied? And he needed examples. You see, according to the JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, these initiatives promote circular model of environmentally sound waste management in urban areas. It's jointly implemented by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, and recently in Kenya by the National Environmental Management Authority in Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kiambu. It's managed by a Japanese known as Akihiko Tanaka. However, he's a 40-year-old and he's leading this initiative. It's not a youth-led initiative, but it's really doing a great implement in Kenya. You can see that if we are indeed leaving it all to the youth, then are we not overburdening them? I mean, they are the majority, yes. But what is the need of them being the majority and leaving it to them, yet they don't have the experience? You see, experience is the best teacher. And if the youth-led initiatives and the non-youth-led initiatives merge, what will happen? The best will happen to transform the Kenyan communities. And with this, we need to transform our Kenyan communities. It is the time for change for the Kenyan communities. You say, and you can say, my fellow audience, in front of you is a team of 3 who are really doing a great work. If then one person was given the chance to do it alone, what will happen? Will it be effective? No. Then I don't understand why you are being blinded by the facts from my opponents. Please allow me to be the driver of this Mercedes we are in, of this going against this motion of youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. You see, a famous musician known as Taylor Swift once said, happiness and confidence is the prettiest thing one can wear. But I, as Darmi Robatadicha, say that intelligence and wisdom is one thing, and the prettiest thing one can wear. With that being said, my fellow audience, the ball is in your court. It is upon you to choose. Are you going to take the ball and move forward with us to transform our Kenyan community, or take the ball and move backwards with them? Thank you.
Now, I'm on Songo, and for the 1 minute, I would like to say, as the third speaker has said, or rather read, the issue about the Japanese investor, it's true, but who are his employees? Are they not the young people? Are they not the youth? Let's look again. We also have the old people and the government that have led us for this long. Why haven't we seen the change? If the power is with the majority, then why? The big question is why? Why shouldn't we exploit the youth that we have with the potential to lead us? As Suzy and Sons Corporation of Kakamega has utilized the youth to sensitize the mamambogas and the children in schools, it is just but factual. The youth has the power. The youth together, utilitarianism, democracy, the numbers are not to be undermined. Then why? Why should we undermine the youth? The big question is why?
Now, my dear audience, I would like to say that I am in love. I am madly in love, and I am deeply in love with unity. Now, what I am trying to say is that when these youth-led initiatives and the other initiatives come together, they will actually form something great. We're not saying that these other initiatives, they don't have greater potential. Come on. Matthias Brock, a scholar, says that the youth make 5 common mistakes. One of them is procrastination. What will procrastination help the youth to make these great initiatives better? If they will be procrastinating in their work, it will absolutely not make it. You see, when we say that the youth, they have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities, I don't think if there's anywhere I have heard or seen the youths transforming Kenyan communities. And I gave you an example of the other initiatives, like the AIC, that transform communities of the densely populated areas, which were not better for people living there. Come on. What you're trying to say is that all these initiatives, they have greater potential, and when they both come together, they will make good and better society today. Thank you.
It was a bruising, boiling, burning battle of wits. Both teams solidly laying their case. The motion reads, youth-led initiatives in waste management have the greatest potential to transform Kenyan communities. Now, what was largely missing from both teams is this last quarter, how these initiatives have transformed Kenyan communities. So the team that tried to bring this out got a niche above the rest. Let me go down to the details. Rono Emmanuel, relevant quote, a good global perspective, Sweden, the percentage, and the source. Rono, as a first speaker, it's important you define the key terms of the motion. That was never done. So it's important because that also contributes to the score of the team in terms of style and presentation. However, you gave us a very solid examples of youth-led initiatives, the Mombasa Incubator Project, and then you spoke about Nairobi projects. However, I wish you could have gone ahead and broken down which initiatives are these in Nairobi, because this is a very general statement, youth-led projects. They could be in terms of, reproductive health. They could be in terms of waste management, so that bit should have come out. And then you spoke about 70% of the youth in Kenya. I mean, in Kenya, we have 70% of the youth. A source to that effect could have also given you a score for mastery of content, because somebody can accuse you of cooking And then now the big question was, how have they transformed Kenyan communities? You answered this by talking about employment of the youth, where you mentioned the UNEP report, and that was it. But on this one, Rono, I've seen you debate before, but on this, your passion and conviction was a little bit low. And you see there is a score for that. In fact, I was like, what is wrong with him? Probably it's been a tiring day, but I like the bit that you are a debater with a lot of potential. Hope Rindi, first speaker, you introduced a clever twist to the motion of saying we're not just talking about the youth, but we're talking about a merge, a combined approach. And that is why Kapsabet High, the role of the first speaker is very, very important in defining the key terms, because such a twist can give you an added advantage over the other team. Now, Hope, when you brought out that, the next thing is we were waiting eagerly to see how you are supporting your points. And you spoke about the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the pet sector project and all that. I wish you could have gone down and say, who are these people in the Kenya Association of Manufacturers in terms of maybe the age bracket? It could have given you a good score also for mastery of topic. And then you spoke about the Waste Aid Program 2019. At a certain point, you were doing some bit of reading, which is something we don't advocate for. But then there was a lot of passion and conviction in your statement. So in terms of, passion and conviction and the style and presentation, here is where you stood out as compared to your competitor. Now, Onsongo Momanyi, brother, you are a powerful, dangerous debater. There is something about you and stage presence that stood out. Generally, I once again repeat, this is a learning experience. It was a very close tie, and I wish the two teams all the best. Thank you. God bless.